Hello, Los Angeles Dodgers fans. We've got fresh, exclusive videos and the latest updates just for you. Before we dive in, make sure to join our channel and hit that like button. This is the best way to stay on top of all the breaking news. The Los Angeles Dodgers have been navigating a season full of challenges and unexpected turns in 2025, and as August stretches on, it's becoming clear that the team's journey has been far from straightforward. Injuries have left their mark on the roster. Pitching management has proven to be a complex puzzle, and the offensive output has often fallen short of expectations. Yet, amid all these factors, one issue stands out in sharp relief, something that could redefine how the Dodgers approach the final stretch of the regular season: the dynamics of the outfield, and in particular, the right field position. For much of the season, Teoscar Hernandez has been stationed in right field, a spot where the Dodgers had hoped he would thrive following his 3-year, $66 million contract extension. Expectations were high, as Hernandez had already proven his worth in left field during his debut campaign, showing both offensive firepower and defensive reliability. However, 2025 has presented a different narrative. On multiple occasions, Hernandez has struggled to translate his past success to the demands of right field. While defensive metrics suggest that his performance has been roughly consistent with the previous year, the visual aspect of his fielding, what fans and coaches see in real time, has painted a picture of regression, particularly during high-pressure moments. This disparity was highlighted in the Dodgers' recent matchup against the Colorado Rockies, a team that has struggled throughout the season yet managed to exploit the vulnerabilities of Los Angeles in a dramatic fashion. Monday night's contest ended in a 4-3 walk-off loss. A game that could have easily swung in favor of the Dodgers had a few crucial plays been executed differently. Hernandez, positioned in right field, was unable to secure multiple catches that might have shifted momentum, and one misplayed ball ultimately allowed a Rockies hitter to reach base, setting the stage for the decisive run. The sequence not only snapped a 3-game winning streak, but also underscored a growing concern for the coaching staff: Hernandez's ability to meet defensive expectations in right field under pressure. In the aftermath of the loss, a private meeting took place, bringing together some of the most influential figures in the Dodgers organization. Mookie Betts, a seasoned veteran with a reputation for defensive excellence, met with manager Dave Roberts and president of baseball operations Andrew Friedman. The content of their discussion has not been publicly disclosed, but the very act of convening such a meeting signals that the team is considering strategic adjustments. Among the ideas reportedly under consideration is the possibility of shifting Betts back to his natural position in right field. Betts, who has spent over 5,000 innings patrolling right field and boasts 6 Gold Glove awards, brings both experience and a sense of stability to a position that has proven challenging for Hernandez this season. If this move were to occur, the shortstop position could see a rotation between Alex Freeland and Miguel Rojas, a duo with prior experience at the position. Freeland, primarily a shortstop during his minor league career, has over 300 starts at the position, while Rojas, who helped mentor Betts during his own transition from right field to shortstop, brings in valuable insight and versatility. Meanwhile, Hernandez would return to left field, replacing Michael Conforto, whose offensive numbers have struggled and who has hovered below the Mendoza line for much of the year. Hernandez's own response to the defensive lapse has been candid and focused on resilience. Speaking to the media after the Rockies game, he acknowledged the difficulty of the plays he faced and emphasized his commitment to moving forward. "We were playing no doubles, and like you said, it's a big outfield. I was really far and tried to make a play. It came off my glove, unfortunately. Things happen. I just got to wash it and keep moving forward," he said. It's a statement that highlights both the mental toughness required of professional athletes and the understanding that mistakes are part of the game. Yet the need for consistent performance remains critical, especially as the season reaches its pivotal stages. Manager Dave Roberts, while stopping short of placing direct blame, stressed the importance of improvement in defensive execution. He noted that Hernandez's effort is not in question, but refinement and better outcomes are necessary for the team to maintain its competitive edge. Roberts' perspective underscores a delicate balance in leadership, trusting and supporting players while also holding them accountable for their roles in critical moments. This balance is particularly important as the Dodgers prepare for upcoming series that could define their playoff positioning, with games against strong divisional opponents like the San Diego Padres looming on the horizon. Beyond the outfield, the Dodgers have faced challenges in the bullpen that have tested the resilience of the pitching staff. Alex Vesia, who has been one of the team's most reliable relievers throughout the season, recently encountered a difficult stretch in August, allowing runs in multiple consecutive appearances. These moments, while concerning, are framed by the larger context of Vesia's overall performance. His earned run average remains impressively low, and his strikeout-to-walk ratios indicate sustained dominance over a substantial sample size. Roberts' approach to handling Vesia during this period reflects a philosophy of measured trust, acknowledging that temporary slumps are natural in a long season and that confidence in a player's abilities can yield positive outcomes even after a string of setbacks. This combination of factors, the defensive questions in right field, the potential positional shifts involving Betts, Hernandez, Freeland, and Rojas, and the nuanced handling of the bullpen, paint a picture of a Dodgers team at a crossroads. The organization is forced to weigh immediate performance against long-term strategy, to balance player development with the urgency of each game, and to adapt plans as new challenges emerge. The internal conversations, both formal and informal, demonstrate a proactive approach, with leadership actively considering adjustments that could stabilize the team and optimize performance for the critical weeks ahead. As the Dodgers move deeper into August, every game carries heightened significance. Each inning, each at-bat, and each defensive play can influence momentum and playoff positioning. The potential reshuffling of positions, combined with ongoing evaluations of pitching strategies, reflects an organization in pursuit of both excellence and consistency. The story unfolding in Los Angeles is not merely about a single player or a single game. It is about the orchestration of talent, the management of expectations, and the relentless pursuit of victory in one of the most competitive leagues in professional sports. Hernandez's defensive struggles have been punctuated by moments that linger in memory, plays that are replayed not just for analysis, but as markers of a season that is far from linear. Monday night's game against the Rockies serves as a vivid illustration. A large portion of the stadium watched as balls landed just out of reach. And while the metrics suggest Hernandez's performance was statistically consistent with the prior year, the visual impact on teammates, management, and fans told another story. Baseball, after all, is a sport of perception as well as numbers. A single missed catch in a pivotal inning can overshadow weeks of competent performance, and it is this reality that managers like Dave Roberts must contend with when balancing trust, criticism, and corrective measures. The decision to bring Mookie Betts into a private meeting with Roberts and Andrew Friedman reflects the organization's proactive approach to problem-solving. Betts, who has spent the majority of his career excelling in right field, brings a wealth of experience and credibility to the conversation. 6 Gold Gloves are not merely awards. They are evidence of an elite ability to read the game, anticipate the ball, and execute under pressure. In right field, Betts has the instincts and muscle memory that come from thousands of innings of repetition, a level of preparation that Hernandez is still adjusting toward. The idea of returning Betts to his natural position is not a critique of Hernandez as much as it is a strategic recalibration, an acknowledgement that maximizing the team's chances of winning sometimes requires realignment and reassessment of player roles. Meanwhile, Hernandez's reassignment to left field, replacing Michael Conforto, also represents a calculated shift. Conforto's offensive struggles have been well documented, and the Dodgers' leadership recognizes the dual opportunity. Move Hernandez to a position where his defensive lapses are less exposed, and simultaneously allow him to focus on contributing offensively without the added pressure of mastering an unfamiliar part of the field. For Hernandez, this is a moment that tests both adaptability and resilience. It is a chance to leverage his strengths while acknowledging the areas in which he needs to improve. It is a reminder that even high-profile athletes are constantly evolving, adjusting, and responding to the demands of the game at the highest level. Alex Freeland and Miguel Rojas. The proposed rotation at shortstop further illustrate the depth of consideration that is taking place within the Dodgers camp. Freeland's extensive minor league experience at shortstop, combined with Rojas' mentorship history with Betts, creates a framework where roles can be flexible and the team can adjust dynamically to both performance and circumstance. In this way, the Dodgers are not merely reacting to isolated incidents. They're crafting a system that prioritizes strategic flexibility while maintaining a baseline of defensive integrity. Baseball, particularly at the major league level, is a constant balancing act between individual talent and team cohesion, and the Dodgers' internal discussions exemplify this delicate equilibrium. Offensively, Hernandez has faced challenges at the plate that compound the scrutiny over his fielding. The transition to right field has coincided with a downturn in batting performance, a correlation that may not be entirely causal, but nonetheless impacts the team's perception and his confidence. In moments where a player is struggling defensively, offensive contributions take on added weight as each hit, run, and RBI becomes a measure of overall value to the lineup. Hernandez, however, has maintained a focus on moving forward, a mindset that is essential in professional sports. Acknowledging errors, learning from them, and remaining mentally resilient are traits that separate players who falter under pressure from those who grow stronger as the season progresses. Meanwhile, the Dodgers' bullpen has presented its own set of challenges, particularly in the case of Alex Vesia. Once considered an unshakable component of the relief corps, Vesia has experienced a series of difficult outings in August, allowing runs in multiple consecutive appearances. While some observers might view this as a cause for concern, Roberts has approached the situation with measured confidence. Vesia's overall numbers, an earned run average below 3, a strikeout rate approaching 12 per 9 innings, and a walk rate around 3 per 9, indicate that this rough stretch is likely an anomaly rather than a reflection of declining skill. Roberts' decision to continue trusting Vesia, even in high-leverage situations, underscores a philosophy that prioritizes long-term performance over short-term fluctuations. It is a demonstration of managerial acumen, balancing risk with evidence-based evaluation and reinforcing the player's confidence in the process. Sunday's series finale against the Padres highlighted the payoff of this approach. Vesia, initially slated for a brief appearance, opted to stay in the game and ultimately contributed 5 innings of crucial relief, helping the Dodgers secure a sweep. This performance reflects not only his skill, but also the importance of trust and communication between manager and player. In baseball, the mental component is as significant as the physical, and the confidence instilled by leadership can directly impact execution on the field. Vesia's ability to rebound under pressure demonstrates the interplay between preparation, mindset, and opportunity, offering a broader lesson about resilience that resonates across the roster. As the Dodgers prepare for upcoming games, these interwoven narratives, Hernandez's defensive journey, Betts' potential positional shift, Vesia's bullpen resurgence, coalesce into a larger story about adaptability, decision-making, and the relentless pursuit of victory. Each adjustment, each meeting, each calculated move is part of an intricate chess match, where the stakes are measured not only in wins and losses, but in the cumulative positioning that will determine playoff seeding and long-term success. The Dodgers management is acutely aware that every decision has ripple effects, influencing lineup balance, morale, and strategic flexibility in ways that extend far beyond the immediate game. Hernandez's transition to left field is emblematic of a broader organizational philosophy. Leverage the strengths of individual players while minimizing exposure to their vulnerabilities. By shifting roles strategically, the Dodgers create opportunities for growth, maintain competitive advantage, and preserve the integrity of the team structure. It is a calculated approach that requires both courage and foresight, acknowledging that adjustments may be necessary even for high-profile athletes, and that short-term discomfort can lead to long-term benefit. But before we move forward, don't forget to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest news about the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the news, so drop a comment below. Whispers around the baseball world have been growing louder in recent days as rumors swirl regarding Walker Buehler's nostalgic reflections on his time with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Sources close to the pitcher suggest that Buehler has been openly expressing how much he misses the unique environment and camaraderie that defined his tenure with the team. In conversations that have been quietly circulating among insiders, he is said to have described the chemistry within the Dodgers clubhouse as unsurpassable, a sentiment that appears to linger strongly in his mind even after his departure. Observers speculate that this longing is not just about on-field success, but about the intangible bonds that can only form in a highly competitive environment where personalities align perfectly. Buehler's remarks, though framed in casual, almost wistful tones, have ignited speculation among fans and analysts alike about whether a potential return could ever be on the horizon. It seems that the Dodgers' winning culture, combined with a team dynamic that fostered both personal and professional growth, left a lasting impression on him, the sort of impression that might influence future decisions regarding free agency, trades, or strategic moves aimed at rekindling old alliances. Even casual mentions of chemistry in baseball circles carry enormous weight, given the sport's reliance on trust, timing, and cohesion. Analysts note that such statements often act as subtle signals within the industry, prompting other teams to gauge interest or attempt negotiation strategies. There is an unspoken acknowledgement that Buehler's talent is exceptional, yet his remarks suggest that personal satisfaction and team unity weigh heavily on him. Rumors are now swirling that these reflections could translate into concrete actions sooner rather than later. The intrigue is heightened by the timing, as the offseason presents opportunities for strategic roster moves. Fans are speculating not only about Buehler's potential future with the Dodgers, but also about how his comments might impact team morale, contract negotiations, and broader market dynamics in Major League Baseball. Baseball insiders emphasize that a player's desire for a particular clubhouse environment can sometimes influence decision-making as much as statistical performance. The Dodgers front office, known for its strategic acumen, might be quietly taking note of Buehler's public musings. Meanwhile, rival teams could interpret his words as an opening to engage in conversations or explore trade possibilities. In short, what might appear as casual nostalgia could ripple across the league in unexpected ways, turning wistful words into actionable speculation. Even media coverage has begun to amplify the whispers, framing Buehler's sentiment as a possible harbinger of movement in the off-season market. The impact of Buehler's public statements about missing the Dodgers extend beyond mere personal sentiment, reaching into the strategic considerations of multiple teams in Major League Baseball. Observers have noted that a pitcher of Buehler's caliber, one who has consistently delivered in high-pressure situations, carries enormous influence, not only in games but in shaping team culture. His reflections on the unsurpassable chemistry within the Dodgers clubhouse may serve as a subtle critique of his current environment or as an implicit invitation to explore possibilities for reuniting with former teammates. In the industry, such remarks rarely go unnoticed, and insiders suggest that executives, agents, and even rival players are likely parsing every word for hidden meaning. Analysts argue that this kind of commentary could have ripple effects in trade negotiations, contract discussions, and even the morale of current Dodgers players, who might perceive Buehler's statements as a longing for the past that contrasts with the team's present trajectory. Furthermore, the timing of these remarks is particularly intriguing, coinciding with a period when teams are actively evaluating pitching needs and roster flexibility. The broader baseball ecosystem thrives on signals like these, where a single public reflection can spark speculation across fan forums, media outlets, and front offices alike. Some insiders even suggest that Buehler's comments may encourage the Dodgers to consider aggressive moves to either re-engage him or strategically leverage his status in discussions with other teams. This delicate interplay of sentiment, market positioning, and competitive advantage underscores the complexity of baseball's off-field dynamics, illustrating how personal feelings and professional performance intertwine. For fans, The statement has added a layer of intrigue to the off-season narrative, prompting endless debate about whether nostalgia will translate into action. In locker rooms, whispers of potential reunions are already being discussed quietly, with teammates weighing the possibility of rekindling past successes. Meanwhile, media outlets are eager to frame the story as a potential blockbuster development, using BUEHLER's candid reflections as a narrative hook that could influence team strategies and public perception. The speculation, while unofficial, is potent, as baseball operates as much on stories and relationships as it does on statistics. Rumors are likely to intensify, particularly if additional hints about BUEHLER's intentions surface, keeping fans and insiders on edge. Adding further fuel to the speculation surrounding Walker Buehler's sentiments about the Los Angeles Dodgers, sources within baseball circles indicate that his reflections on the team's internal chemistry are resonating far beyond casual fan chatter. The pitcher's acknowledgement that the chemistry here was unbeatable has been interpreted by many as a subtle nudge toward potential reconsideration of his career path. In baseball, where timing and interpersonal dynamics are critical, statements like these often carry strategic weight, signaling openness to future negotiations or hinting at dissatisfaction with current circumstances. Analysts are particularly focused on the idea that Buehler's remarks might affect the Dodgers' offseason strategy, encouraging management to explore options for reacquiring or retaining players who can restore the camaraderie he fondly recalls. The discussion is further complicated by the intersection of personal fulfillment and professional performance. Buehler's public yearning highlights a trend where players' emotional connections to team environments are increasingly influential in career decisions. Agents and front office executives are reportedly attentive to such subtleties, as understanding a player's preferences can yield tactical advantages in trade talks or contract negotiations. The implications extend beyond Buehler himself, as rival teams are watching closely, evaluating how his reflections could create openings for strategic acquisitions or inspire competitive maneuvers. Fans, meanwhile, are deeply engaged in the narrative, analyzing every phrase and gesture for hints of what might unfold. Social media discussions amplify these interpretations, creating a feedback loop where public sentiment influences the perception of player intentions. In locker rooms across the league, whispers about potential Buehler movements are being circulated, prompting speculation on how reunions or new alignments could shift the competitive landscape. Observers note that even casual comments can trigger a cascade of strategic thinking among executives, scouts, and team managers. The blend of nostalgia, professional pride, and strategic signaling creates a complex tapestry of rumor and expectation, keeping the baseball world abuzz with theories, conjecture, and anticipation. Insider whispers suggest that Walker Buehler's longing for the Dodgers' unique team chemistry is stirring a renewed discussion about the interplay between player satisfaction and team strategy in Major League Baseball. Sources familiar with the situation indicate that Buehler's statement, emphasizing how much he misses the environment and the camaraderie of the Dodgers, is being taken seriously by multiple front offices. Analysts suggest that such comments are rarely innocuous, particularly when voiced by a player of Buehler's caliber, whose performance in high-stakes situations has been consistently exceptional. The sentiment he expressed reflects a broader understanding that winning teams are often forged not solely by statistical excellence, but by intangible bonds of trust, mutual respect, and alignment of personalities. In the context of trade discussions, free agency negotiations, or strategic planning, such reflections could influence the Dodgers' approach to roster construction, particularly if they perceive that rekindling that chemistry could yield both competitive and cultural advantages. Meanwhile, rival teams are reportedly monitoring the situation, weighing whether Buehler's nostalgia signals an opportunity for engagement or a potential distraction for his current squad. Social media and fan forums have amplified these rumors, turning casual observations into a narrative that captures the imagination of the broader baseball community. The discussion also raises questions about the relative value of professional performance versus personal fulfillment, highlighting how players' preferences for certain environments can affect decision-making at the highest levels. Commentary from sports analysts underscores that a team's internal culture can be as critical as its tactical approach, influencing player retention, acquisition strategies, and long-term planning. In the midst of this speculative environment, BUEHLER's statements are being dissected for nuance, with particular attention paid to phrasing, context, and timing. The potential for these reflections to translate into concrete action, whether a reunion with the Dodgers or other strategic maneuvers, keeps the rumor mill active. As the offseason unfolds, insiders anticipate that these musings will continue to shape conversations among executives, media, and fans alike, creating a climate of anticipation and uncertainty around one of baseball's most intriguing pitchers. Amidst growing speculation, Walker Buehler's expression of missing the Dodgers has become a focal point in discussions about the relationship between player psychology and team performance in Major League Baseball. Observers suggest that his emphasis on the unparalleled chemistry he experienced points to a broader understanding of how personal and professional alignment can enhance performance, resilience, and long-term satisfaction. The sentiment, while ostensibly nostalgic, is interpreted by analysts as a potential indicator of openness to future negotiations or re-engagement with the team. In front offices, such nuances are closely scrutinized, as understanding a player's motivation and attachment to a particular environment can create strategic leverage in contract discussions, trades, and talent management decisions. Fans and commentators alike are captivated by the narrative, often drawing parallels between Buehler's remarks and the larger trend of players valuing organizational culture alongside competitive success. The reverberations extend beyond the Dodgers, as rival teams weigh the implications for their own pitching strategies and roster considerations. Insider chatter suggests that even subtle signals like Buehler's reflections can influence the timing and direction of negotiations, potentially shaping off-season moves across multiple franchises. Analysts emphasize that his statements underscore the growing importance of chemistry, trust, and cohesion in a sport traditionally defined by statistics and individual metrics. Social media amplifies every nuance, turning private sentiment into public speculation and intensifying the rumor mill. Sports journalists and insiders are dissecting interviews, casual remarks, and body language for hidden cues, often interpreting nostalgia as strategic signaling. The possibility of a return or other career maneuver is keeping fans and commentators in a heightened state of anticipation. Across the league, whispers of Buehler's feelings are informing locker room dynamics, media coverage, and even the perception of the Dodgers' future strategy. As discussions continue, the subtle interplay between sentiment, speculation, and strategic decision-making demonstrates how even personal reflections from a single player can ripple across the entire baseball ecosystem, influencing perception, planning, and the ever-evolving narrative of Major League Baseball. That's all for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay up to date with exclusive news about the Los Angeles Dodgers, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We always appreciate your comments and feedback. See you in the next video.